And we are in line 9B, but just going back to line 9A where it says, even my own familiar friend in whom I trust, and we read the 2 Samuel 15:12 reference scripture. Now he had a flashback to how his son Absalom treated him. His familiar friend was his own son. And then he had a foreshadowing of what Jesus was going to go through with Judas. Okay? And so here it is in 9B, who ate my bread has lifted up his heel against me. And so this is sending us to John 13, verse 18, and then also 21 to 30. So it's going to be a lengthy reference scripture, and then that reference scripture gives us a more reference scripture, and so we're going to be in the New Testament for a little while. So we're going to go to John 13, looking at verse 18. John 13:18, that says, I do not speak concerning all of you. I know whom I have chosen, but that the scripture may be fulfilled, he who eats bread with me has lifted up his heel against me. All right, and so that was a foreshadowing what David has said, and this is a flashback that Jesus is given from what David had said or prophesied, okay, that he would say. So it's a fulfillment of prophecy here. So now this John 13:18 sends us to John 15:25, but we're going to come back to John 13 to finish reading 21 to 30. But for now, let's go to John 15:25. That says, but this happened that the word might be fulfilled, which is written in their law, they hated me without a cause. Now this sends us to Psalm 30. This sends us to Psalm 30. Let's see this. Okay. This sends us to Psalm 30. Psalm 69, line 4. So we're going to come back to John 13, but let's go to Psalm 69, 4. Psalm 69, 4. That says, those who hate me without a cause are more than the hairs of my head. They are mighty who would destroy me, being my enemies wrongfully. Though I have stolen nothing, I still must restore it. So it's like, and we talked about this from Psalm 40, that this was a reference scripture here for this one again, and like how we alluded to, is that they hated him without a cause. They didn't have a reason to hate him, and it was like that they treated him like he had stole something. When someone steals something from you, then they thinking that the way they treating you is like you stole something, but you never stole anything, but you still have to repay it because how they're treating you. All right. So now we're going to go back to John 13. I'm trying to keep all this in order. We're going to go back to John 13. And they send us to 17:12, John 17:12. That says, while I was with them in the world, I kept them in your name. Those whom you gave me, I have kept, and none of them is lost except the son of perdition, that the scripture might be fulfilled. All right, so the son of destruction. And so that was Judas. So God kept all of them. Jesus kept all of them but Judas. But that was just a fulfillment of scripture. All right. So now we've read all the reference scriptures for John 13:18. Now let's go ahead and read the reference scripture it had given us from Psalm 41. We have to read 21 to 30. But what we're going to do, so we don't go over too much, we're going to go ahead and break here, but meet me back in John 13 verses 21 to 30. All right, so we're going to pause here.